Here is a GST question every business owner should answer. See, you sold goods today, but when will your GST liability arise? Is that when you receive the order, when you raise the invoice, when you receive payment, when you deliver the goods? The answer lies in the time of supply provisions under GST. Now, what is time of supply? Time of supply is the time when you have to report the sales and you have to discharge your GST liability. So, section 12 of the CGST Act is explaining regarding time of supply. So, time of supply is earlier of the date of raising the invoice under section 12 or the earlier date of issuing the invoice under section 31 or the receipt of payment when you are receiving the payment from the supplier. So, what is section 31? Section 31, the last date for raising the invoice. If it's goods on under movement, that meaning when the goods are leaving the godown, you have to raise the invoice. If goods are not moving, that when you before you deliver the item to the customer, you have to raise the invoice. So earlier of the date of invoice, the last date for raising the invoice under section 31, or when you receive the payment from the when you receive the payment from the customer. So this, let me explain with the help of examples. See, for example, you raise the invoice on May 3rd. You deliver the items on 5th and you're receiving the payment May 5th and you're receiving the payment on May 10th. So May 3rd, May 5th and May 10th. The earlier date is the date of invoice. So May 3rd you have to discharge your GST liability. But there is another point when you are receiving, and sometimes you will receive advance payment for a sale or a service. So advance payment, imagine the same situation. You are receiving an advance payment on May 2nd. You are raising the invoice on May 3rd. You are delivering the item on May 5th and you are receiving the payment on May 10th. You have to remember that as per the latest update of GST provisions, whenever you are receiving advance payment, you need not give the you need not meet the GST liability. The date of invoice you can make the payment. And one more thing you have to remember, if there is a change between two dates, you cannot decide the convenient date for paying the GST liability at the lower rate or anything like that. The actual rule under section 12 and section 31 will be applicable. You have no choice. Whenever, as per the provisions of section 12 and 31, the time of supply will be decided and you have to discharge your liability. Now, continuous supply of goods. This also is important. Say, for example, for a restaurant, a person is entering into an agreement for 6 months. He will continuously supply the vegetables, fruits, meat, fish, egg, etc. So 6 months contract he is entering. So here the contractor says that every month we will raise the bill. On the last date of the month we will raise. This entering into contract on May 1st. So that means May 31st he has to raise the invoice. And within 10 days of the next month he has to get the payment. That means June 10th he has to get the payment. So here you have to remember, he cannot wait for 6 months to meet the complete GST liability. Every month the bill invoice is raised. So he has to meet his GST liability every month. That is date of invoice May 31st. So May 31st GST liability has to be discharged. So these are the provisions regarding section 12 and section 31 regarding time of supply. And the important point is, when advance is received, you need not meet your GST liability.